Okay guys, something extremely different here today, and I was in two minds about even uploading a video regarding this because the channel's just not about this, but this is kind of in the bounds of self-repair and a little bit of restoration, doing things yourself. But I've had such an absolute nightmare with a piece of software called Renolink, Renolink. So I wanted to make a video about how I got it working and how it helped me, because there is zero information out there about this apart from things that are possibly in Arabic or the odd thing on Facebook, the little kind of nugget of information that you have to go from place to place. And it's a really good piece of software if you have a Renault or a Dacia. So if you're not interested in a little bit of a journey that I've made, then please skip this video. I appreciate that we're usually all about cassettes over there, but as I say, this is solely about my own sense of self-repair and not wanting to go pay a garage or exuberant amounts of money just to do a diagnostic on a car. So what is Renolink then? Renolink is a piece of software that will allow you to draw diagnostic information from a Renault or a Dacia, or generally anything with a Renault engine in it. It's really powerful. It will allow you to edit things that only the main dealer would usually be able to do, or that you can usually do on a system called Clip. Now, what is Clip? Renault Clip is actually something that they will use in the main dealer. Now, Renault Clip requires its own laptop, its own interface. It's very expensive. You can sometimes pick one up for £300 to £400. It is also a very powerful piece of software and hardware, but look at these prices. For these prices, it's not worth even picking one up unless you intend to keep the car for an awful long time, which I intend to do, but I don't intend to pay these prices. So what is my workaround? I choose to drive this absolute fine piece of French engineering because at the moment I'm doing about 1,000 miles a week. It's dirt cheap to run, it's absolutely dirt cheap to maintain, and it suits me perfectly. But I had an ABS fault, and an ABS fault isn't something that is pretty simplistic to get into when you're in the car. It just says fault. So at the moment it just says on mine, ECM and ABS fault, check your brakes, which is a bit twitchy really, because obviously everyone wants to know what's going on. Now, you could go get yourself an absolute generic code reader, but I've found these will only read engine faults and they're really bad at doing it. So I want something I can plug into with a cable into a laptop like VAGs, for instance, for VW stuff, and go from there. Well, you're looking at my workaround, and this has been an absolute journey. So this is the cable I use to connect my car to the Renault Link software. The Renolink software and the cables are available all over the internet, Chinese clones. This is basically a USB to serial converter for the software, and the software comes with the drivers on a disc when you buy these cables. Now, for the purposes of everybody kicking off saying, oh, you know, I've breached copyright or anything like that, I haven't. I've actually, once I got the software working, I went and paid for the software through the correct channels, so we're all good. But what do you need to run it? Now again, all this information is not really available throughout the internet. So you need a laptop that's got a reasonable battery in it, that's got Windows 7. I've tried this on Vista, 8, 10, XP, all of them, and this works by far the best on Windows 7, alright? I actually went on Facebook Marketplace, bought a load of laptops for absolute cheapest chips, made one good one. I think I paid, it's just timed out there, I think I paid like, it was the equivalent of £1 or something per laptop. Put them all together and here we are. So this took me, for a start, this took me about 3 or 4 days to get this wiped and get a version of Windows 7 on it and get it all working. So that's my first tip. Use Windows 7, okay? Ignore anything else. It's by far the easiest way of making this work. And this is a complicated system to get up and running. Again, I've had to do this all through trial and error. So if I share this information now, maybe you can have the same amount of joy as I've had today because I got it working. So once you've got it all up and running, what you need to do is install the Renolink software, and you also need to have the cable and the drivers installed for that cable. If you buy a cable with a CD, it'll be on the CD. Install the drivers, follow the instructions to the letter, and everybody's happy. So the next point then, once you've installed your drivers, there's be a program somewhere in amongst what you've bought called ifprep2. I don't know what this is, it's just called ifprep2, okay? And what this does is this allows you to set the baud rate for your cable, and this is the speed that it transfers data to and from your laptop, and it's very specific. It's got to be this 1 million bits or whatever it is, whatever that baud rate is there, it's got to be that. Okay, so whatever button you press here, press all three until one of them works, but you want to make it at this, is that a million? Yeah, you want to make it at least 1 million, not 115,200, which is set by Windows as default. It will not work unless you click on this button and then press interface prepare. Okay, so start this next after you've installed your cables for your driver. Press that button and it will come up and say successful or something like that. If you get an error, try a combination of the buttons until you get success pressing this button. Then press interface prepare, then you can close that. Next thing you want to do then is plug in your cable. Once your cable's plugged in then, go into your ports in Device Manager, and I am presuming a little bit of IT knowledge here. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty, but you need to make sure it's set up to be on COM4. Okay, there's plenty of guides of how to change what COM port, what cable you've got plugged into your laptop or computer is using. It needs to be COM4. Okay, if you want to change that, you can right click on it, go to properties, go to ports, go to advanced, and you can change the COM port. If it's not on COM4, it won't work. Once you've done that, you should be able to now start a Renolink, which is this piece of software. It shows you absolutely nothing. It gives you no hints, no tips, no guides, and it is not actually intuitive as to how to use it. On top of all that, most of it is in French. So this is a challenge. Everything going to plan. If your cable's plugged in, the drivers are working, you've done that baud rate change, it should say interface connected, diagnostic not running. If it doesn't say that, it isn't working. Go back through the steps, reinstall Renolink. Jesus Christ, I reinstalled Windows to make this work, but install Renolink, install your drivers, and if it says interface connected, you have done the hard part, and I hope that what I've just said will get you to that point. So we are now in the car, the ignition is on, the cable is connected, interface is connected, diagnostics are not running, okay? It says that in the bottom left hand corner. So what you need to do is go to the menu there that says scan and click on scan. And when this window pops up, what you're doing is you're selecting which module in your car you want to try and connect to, alright? And if you go down to this small little drop down menu here, it will bring up a massive great list of all the different modules that could possibly be on any Renault engined car. Alright, not all of these modules are going to be accessible because you might not have them. So parking sonar there, for instance, is parking sensors. If I don't have parking sensors, I can't connect to the parking sensor thing. So as you knew, I'm trying to get all the fault codes on my ABS. So if I click on ABS there, VDC, I know this works because I tested it already. You're going to point it towards ABS, it says there, and you click on scan, which is the green button in the bottom corner. This will scan your car now to find out if you have that ABS module and if you are able to connect to it. So this little bar goes up to the top, takes about, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute, there it is, and it comes up in the top left hand corner here, ABS VDC. If it's got a green diamond next to it, you have it and you can connect to it, okay? You can actually click on all. If you click on all on that big drop down menu there, it will try and scan every single module on your car to see which ones are relevant. But it will take donkeys, about 20 minutes. It's probably the best way to do it so you know what modules you've got. But if you know what specific one you want to connect to, that's all you do. Okay? Once you've done that, and it says up there ABS VDC with a green diamond, it appears on this menu up here in the top left hand corner in the background. Okay? That means you can now read that module in the program. So you can click on stop down there and you can close that dialog box. Now in the top left hand corner, if you click on ABS VDC, it will bring down all the little sub menus, all the things you can do with the ABS module in your car. Okay, it's all in French, so it takes a little bit of looking at, but parameters, parameter calculator, diagnostics, system identification, as I say, it's all in French. You might have to diagnose your French to English dictionary, but if you want to look at one of these, let's click on system identification. This will all come up on the right hand side, okay, but it's blank. So what you need to do is you need to go up to the play button and click on start stop communication. Once you press that, it will connect to your car, give you all the information, and there's a little status thing here that tells you when it's connected. That is how you connect to it. All this stuff down here is for reprogramming stuff. If you reprogram stuff in here, you will or can knacker your car, okay? So just be very careful. But it's got so much stuff. Hydraulic control, denture control. This is your checking your wheels. This is for ABS rings. Root AVG, root AVD, root ARG. Root means wheel. ARG is our equivalent of offside front. So OSF, you know, it would be offside front. On this, it means gauche and droite, which is left and right, and A means rear, as far as I'm aware. But you need to work that out yourself. So you can do that for all the different modules. The BCM is your body control module, your clusters, your parking sensors, and that is the way you do it, okay? If you want to check out any fault codes, most of the time you can click on that triangle at the top and click on fault codes. Read and erase failures. Click on that. Sometimes it won't work if your diagnostic is running, which it says there, please first disconnect. So I'm going to go up to the stop sign at the top, disconnect from diagnostics, and try and read the fault codes. Some of the modules will let you read it by clicking this large triangle there, and the ABS one doesn't. It says this ECU does not support generic domestic trouble codes, or whatever the DTC stands for. Weirdly, that's in English. I don't know why. But if it connects to that module via the CAN, which is your car's networking essentially, you can look at CAN failures. Click on CAN failures. It'll give you a whole list of all the modules on your car connected to the CAN, and if there's any faults. So then you can go select the module that has a fault back in the previous menu and work it out from there. So as you can see on this one, I'm pretty good functioning. That one's in blue, so I've got some faults on that one, okay? So I'm still selecting my ABS module. If I go up to the top there and select read or erase extended DTC, click on that. This is your fault codes. And as you can see, it's found my fault codes for my ABS. Capture Vitesse Root ARG, which I believe means car wheel ARG sensor. Failed, yes. So this is telling me that my rear right sensor for my ABS system has got a fault. So, same as every other system now, you can go down to the bottom and clear the DTC. That'll clear the codes. Amazingly, they're cleared. My ABS light has gone out, that's cleared the faults. And it remains cleared on there. But I know that I haven't fixed that sensor, so this will remain on until my wheel starts turning, and then the fault will come back up. So I just need to change my ABS sensor. But this is how I've actually managed to get into the ABS system and work it out. The main reason that I wanted to do this is because the only video I've found on Renolink on YouTube states that you can only connect to the engine's ECU. That is totally wrong. You can connect to every ECU going on the car as long as you have it. So if I, as a final example before we close, if I go to scan in the top corner again like we did at the start, go down to my drop down menu, and I'm going to click on parking sonar because I have parking sensors, and I'm going to click the green button that says scan. That's going to look for my parking sensor module, and it'll come up on this list in a second. Hopefully. This has been, I've had to work all this out myself today, and also try and remember any French that I have in the back of my brain. So I really wanted to just share this to anybody who's trying to investigate how to diagnose anything on a Renault car and not take it to Renault and pay exorbitant prices. So that's finished scanning, and it hasn't actually found that parking sonar, even though it did earlier, which is a bit frustrating. Just realised straight away my ignition had gone off, so let's try that again with the ignition back on. Here we go. Scan, scan. Let's find that parking sensor one again. Again, a great example of, there you go, parking sonar, scan. My ignition's on again now. So maybe it's the ignition being on that requires you to it to be able to connect. Oh, there we go, parking sensor. It's now worked. There we go. So I'm going to go stop and close. And now on the top left, I'm going to double click on parking sonar. And there is all my parking sonar details. Vehicle identification, status frame, rear sensors. So now if I go to the green play button and start the communication with that module, boom, there's all the data. Look at that. Is absolutely everything about just this tiny little element of your car. Rear geometry, front geometry, the buzzers, caravan attachment. You can edit and play about with this to your heart's content, but as I say, there's probably a really good chance of you absolutely knackering something on your car. So Paul doesn't recommend, but a couple of things that I wanted to point out. Obviously you need your ignition on. First time I tried this, the car was running, so it worked fine. Front sensors, I don't have any front sensors. It's all sorts of threshold values. Again, weirdly, this one's in English. I don't know what the difference is, but there we go. So hopefully that wraps it up. If you've got any questions, please fire it in the comments. If you have some luck, if you don't, I would suggest getting yourself an absolute dirt cheap Windows 7 laptop off Facebook Marketplace. They sell for absolute nothing. And even with everything paid for, you pay for the software if you enjoy it or like it, correctly through the person that makes it, like I have, then you are saving hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And I'm sure that this is a very powerful program. When you start messing about with parameters and things like that, you can probably do loads of stuff you can do in clip, but for a fraction of the cost, which is what this channel is about. So have yourself a nice day. I'm going to get back to this Nakamichi tape deck and go back to my normal programming. Bye bye.